Dude, look at these like felt robots, man. They don't even look cool.
They look like a iRobot in a sock. All the chores that it's showing the robots doing in the videos, none of them are dishes. This thing's gonna get filthy, and you're gonna have to clean it all the time.
It's covered in cloth.
Like you mentioned, it's gonna get filthy. You're gonna have to have two, so you have to buy two. They have to have a 2-pack.
Oh yeah, so one can clean the other.
What are you guys doing in here?
Oh God.
Unit 1, it is time for your bath.
Welcome to Off the Console, the hottest new podcast that's all about gaming, tech news, and anything nerdy. Today we have a special guest, Bill from the Nerd Nest podcast. Welcome.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Bill is a content creator. He focuses a lot on Steam Deck related content and also general PC handheld stuff, and also runs the Nerd Nest podcast, which it's a good watch. You guys should definitely check it out. I'm sure there's some crossover between this and the Nerd Nest podcast in terms of the audience. So this week we're going to be talking about some pretty crazy stuff. For example, the new Ice ad, Destroy the Flood. And also 90% of all Steam games, 90% of all Windows games now run on Linux, which is a huge deal. And robots, you can pre-order one now. Let's talk about it. So before we actually get this show started, if you like our content, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Before the end of this year. And this will help us out immensely in the YouTube algorithm. Even if you're just listening to us the audio version, it'll help us out greatly. And also, Gardner Bryant has a blog that he runs, and I also published an article there too. I reviewed a all SSD NAS, which I think is pretty good. I do use it every day when I do my video editing stuff. So there's
and I have to say, it's a very well written article.
Thank you, Gardner. And of course, hopefully, you guys will continue to tune in to us at Off the Console. And we also do have extra content in the Patreon, bonus episodes we call them. That's where our spiciest takes are. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check out our Patreon. Links in the description down below.
Do it. Go do it now. Don't wait or anything else.
As you know, we usually talk about the games we've played this week, and since special guest Bill is here, let's ask him first. What have you been playing this week, Bill?
I've been playing a game called Slots and Daggers, which is a roguelike slot machine game, kind of inspired by Balatro, where you start out and you have like these 3 slots in front of you. And then you pick 3 symbols that go in those slots, and then like if a dagger comes up, then you do damage. If a coin comes up, you get money that you can then spend on other symbols. And if a shield comes up, you get a shield. And then you play through for a while. You defeat a boss by taking turns. You spin the slots, do your damage, then they get a turn. After you defeat them, you can buy more symbols to be used on your slot board, and it's really, really addictive and fun, and it's got this one more try loop to it that all of these kind of games have, and I've been having an absolute blast with it. Have any of you guys played it?
I checked out the demo during the Next Fest, but I didn't realize the full game was out. You're talking about the full game, right?
Yep, the full game.
I didn't realize that was out. Thanks for letting me know, Bill.
Yep. And I think it's if you have Ball Pit, you can get it for $5 or something. I can't remember the exact deal, but it's a really good game for a very low price.
Does it replace going gambling in Vegas?
I don't really gamble, so like that's not my jam. So yes, I guess. It doesn't feel like gambling. It's more just like there's a theme to it that feels like you're playing a slot machine, but it's not like you can ever cash out and make money. You eventually get killed by the boss and you got to start over. and like that's where the one more try comes in.
That sounds similar to, the house always wins.
Yeah.
It's just, you don't die in real life. You just go
Mm.
bankrupt.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
Oh, yeah. That's the ultimate game to come out in a couple years.
Dude. What have you been playing, James?
As I proceed to sneeze. Sorry. I have been playing Borderlands 4 on the PS5 with my wife. It's what she wanted to do for her birthday. So I was like, okay, we can do that. It's pretty good. Runs pretty good, actually. If a fun game, definitely much better than Borderlands 3. But so far feels very much like a Borderlands. I haven't gotten to any of the parts that are like really funny yet, so still holding my critiques for that.
Ooh. Which class did you pick?
What class did I pick? I picked the one that's a siren. And then, but I don't remember what the class name is. So
it's the siren. That's just the name of the class in every game.
I don't think it's she has a specific name though, but I picked the siren. Almost picked the big dude, the tank, but
the one with like the dual axes.
Yeah, it looked pretty sick actually.
Yeah, he does look pretty sick.
Pretty good character lineup so far, but we'll see how the character development is because like they have to go against Borderlands 2, which is just so good in my opinion.
It's the GOAT.
It is. It's the one of the best 4-player co-op single players I've ever played. I love it.
And Gardner, what have you been playing?
You know what? I actually played a game this week. I went back and revisited BioShock on my 360.
Like
Very
you actually
nice.
played it on the 360?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I have a hacked Xbox out here, and I dumped like every one of my games, and I finally finished that process recently. And I was like, now that I've done this, I need to actually play a game. And the only one that actually appealed to me was BioShock.
Do you have Ninja Gaiden 2 on the 360?
I don't own that, no.
Damn. I still have my copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 somewhere.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to check out those ones because I really like those games on the NES. Are they similar?
I mean, they're not similar in the fact that one's 3D and the old ones are 2D, but like
yeah,
they're still like ball bustingly hard. The Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah, I should check those out. I haven't, but no, dude, BioShock is as good as I remember it, which is wild to me because that game came out when I was like a young adult, and I'm like, I don't know. A lot of the games that I've revisited since I, have gotten into my 30s, I'm like, dude, I can't believe how kind of antiquated a lot of these games feel. BioShock does not feel antiquated.
You feel like the controls? You still like the controls?
I don't feel like I can be objective about the controls because they feel natural and they feel the way I remember. And it doesn't bother me, but I suspect if I was coming to it for the first time, they might be a little less intuitive.
Like I love BioShock and I played the hell out of it when it came out, and like that goes the moment in that game, what I won't spoil, is like one of my favorite moments in gaming history.
Yes.
But whenever I go back and play it after having played more modern shooters, especially on a controller, I'm like, oh, it feels really, I don't like the layout of the controls. It just feels bad.
I have the benefit of not playing many games.
Yeah,
so
fair. Like every week.
Yeah, like we open every episode with what games we've been playing, and I don't play games very often. I try, I want to, but I'm so busy that I just don't have the chance. So going back and playing BioShock feels as good as it did to me when I first played it.
Well, Bill, I'm glad you didn't spoil that because I have a confession. It's confessional time. I've never played BioShock 1, 2, or Infinite.
Are you kidding, dude?
I'm not kidding. There's a lot of crazy confessions too. Like, for example,
I'm jealous.
I've also never played the Mass Effect games.
Man, you're missing out.
Well, some of the best from previous generations.
Yeah, I told Noah from Steam Deck HQ this a while ago, and his reaction was something else. But yeah,
I concur with Bill. I think like that one moment from BioShock is like in terms of storytelling in games, and you guys both know that I really don't like stories in games either, but BioShock does it so effectively that it's like, I mean, it makes kind of like the waiting around for the story to get out of my way worthwhile, and I really enjoyed that.
That's the thing. You don't have to wait around because the story, like you pick up it through like the audio samples, and then they're playing while you're walking from one place to the next. So you're never waiting around and sitting in a cutscene.
Right. Like there's the intro cutscene, and then most of the rest of it, there aren't cutscenes except for like a couple little moments. But that's the thing, like when it comes to stories in games, I'm more in like the Valve camp, right? Where it's like I don't want the story to get in the way of the gameplay.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I really love about BioShock's story.
yeah. So in terms of what I've been playing this week, though, I've been revisiting Halo, more specifically some Halo mods, because there was basically Halo exploded when the remake was announced, and one person mentioned that someone was making a Halo Combat Evolved remake, but in Halo ODST's engine as a mod. And so I wanted to check it out, but the mod got taken down by the author because they were getting harassed, which is unfortunate.
It does suck.
Yeah, hope they're able to get it back up, man, because the internet sucks sometimes, but it's not worth removing everything you've made. But I guess this transitions to the very first topic that we have here: finishing this fight, destroy the flood, join ICE Gov. Is that not crazy that they'll just do this? That the government can just do this?
Well, they can't technically, but
They
this is
can't,
copyright
but
infringement.
Clearly Microsoft hasn't said anything. As of the making of this episode right now, they still haven't said anything, officially speaking.
They probably won't.
Yeah, they probably won't. At least Nintendo came up and said, "Oh, we didn't authorize this," but Nintendo's Nintendo. But
but the way that Nintendo, like the way they did the Pokemon song and all that, that was pretty bad.
That was pretty cringe.
That was pretty atrocious. It's just like using a children's game and theme to say, "Hey, we're gonna catch people."
Yes, like okay. Mixing politicians and video games, like okay, it's one thing if like a politician likes video games, all right, for sure, whatever. It's another thing if you do shit like this, or do what Hillary Clinton did like all those years ago and say Pokemon go to the polls. Remember that?
Those are entirely different levels of awful,
they are entirely different levels.
Yeah.
I think they're both cringe, but whereas the Hillary Clinton one was just kind of cringe, this one is just it's really fucked up too, if you really think about it.
Have you seen? There's a little bit further down with the White House, and these are both official channels that normally are very professional in the past, and they're just completely co-opted.
Dude,
so
yeah, this just got that yellow AI piss filter that dude, it's insane what happened to AI art, man. It's all yellow piss filters now.
I like, and I will get a little political here, but it's all true. He's a draft dodger, right? He dodged the draft, but he's in a military uniform and all that. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, well, I think that this kind of speaks to who they want to be part of ICE as well. Like they think that this is going to like appeal to gamers. But like I think most people are seeing like through this, I mean, as like a transparent, I don't know. It just seems so like beyond the pale silly that man, I don't even have words to describe it. But then this also comes from Trump, who has been decidedly against violent video games. No consistency.
Mm-hmm.
He's not against anything other than him not having money. That's the only thing he's against.
Yeah.
So we have had people comment on it, especially people that worked on Halo. See, Marty O'Donnell reacted to the ICE ad. He says if he wins, he will, quote, work with the Trump administration to destroy the flood once and for all. So, for those who didn't know, apparently Marty O'Donnell tried to run for Nevada's congressional seat.
Yeah,
and he lost because no one knows what the fuck his policies are. Like, no offense to him, but I don't know. I don't think there's really much of a crossover between video game composer and politician, right?
Yeah.
well, nowadays, who knows?
Yeah, among the ones that we do know. Let's see, Marcus Leto, co-creator of Halo and the lead designer of Master Chief, said that he found it absolutely abhorrent. It makes me sick seeing Halo co-opted like this.
Now, he doesn't work for Microsoft anymore, right?
I don't believe so. Let me look it up, actually.
Because I'm gonna guess that, you know, Microsoft will keep their mouth shut because they might need something.
Well, government contracts. Microsoft is really big with government contracts, so
Well, I mean, Apple
they're not
did the
going to
same
say
thing.
anything.
They yanked the anti-ice app off of the phones because they were told to by the government, because they, like, the tech companies want to make sure that the government would approve of their mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
See, Marcus Leto works at EA now, so he's not at Microsoft anymore.
Right, so that's why he can say whatever he
working
wants.
For the Saudis
Yeah.
Oh yeah, jeez, Gardner, nice call.
Yeah, good one.
Oh.
Let's see, Halo veteran Jamie Gressimer, or is it Jaime? I don't know. One of the chief designers of several games in the series. Halo is a cultural icon, and anything like anything with cultural capital, it is going to be used by politicians and brands and anyone looking for relevancy, he told me. Usually I take it as a compliment to Halo's continuing legacy. Using Halo's imagery in a call to, quote, destroy people because of their immigration status goes way too far. And not to offend every Halo fan, regardless of political orientation, Greisimer said. I personally find it despicable. The Flood are evil space zombie parasites and not an allegory to any group of people.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is with the Destroy the Flood is everything else. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care if you want, like, that's up to Microsoft to defend their IP. It doesn't really ruin much for me. I already can't think any lower of Trump. So, but this Destroy the Flood is so veiled in what the meaning could potentially be. I really hate it because in Halos, the Flood are one of the worst zombie creatures that you can find in any video game, right? They spread so poor, like so bad and all that. And I just don't like, they could have said, and they could have just been like, hey, join the fight or whatever, and just be in the Warthog, but they had to say destroy the Flood in there. And that is very, in my opinion, coded.
See, I didn't even like draw that parallel. I took it at like base value where they say like immigrants are flooding the country or whatever. But that that is exactly what they're saying. Like they're parasites. They're that's.
I mean,
crazy.
that's what they do say behind closed doors, or even sometimes in open doors. Is that they do say parasites? You go and look at a lot of them. Even
he says
they
it at
say
his friggin' rallies.
Yeah, it's pretty apparent like what they think. And maybe they don't understand what Destroy the Flood really means, but there are plenty of gamers that do get that. They might be like, okay, cool, they're really behind me, and I'm gonna. It's just we're at this weird turning point, and I just don't want to see people go more Nazi-esque with this type of rhetoric.
I gotta say, man, Halo, the IP has been having such a rough time in recent years, and this really doesn't help it either, to be honest. I feel like Microsoft, had we been in a different administration, would have defended their baby, but,
Yeah. Well, I mean, now ICE is an Xbox, so it's good for Microsoft, right?
Damn.
Yeah.
This is an Xbox.
Everything's an Xbox.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So,
someone pointed out that this AI flag back here doesn't have 50 stars because it's supposed to represent each state.
It's got
Hmm.
40. It's missing like 10. And so
They're seceding. Someone's seceding from the union,
Hmm.
but like
Well,
in
AI
reverse.
is just,
Or
I mean, all AI does is just rip off other people's work and then
Mhm.
post it as your own. And
Oh
it
yeah,
does it
for sure.
poorly.
there's so many flags though. It should get the
Mm.
flag right. That's why I'm kind of shocked by it. It must have processed a lot of Confederate flags or Confederacy kind of stuff or something. I
So
don't know.
we had,
Mm.
you're not probably not wrong about that. We had at, I was in a location and there was a TV that was playing like, it looked like just like some AI generated images as like something to look at or whatever. And when you
Yeah.
just look at it out of the corner of your eye, you don't realize that it's AI. But then my friend who was there, he just points at it and he goes, those two cars just drove through each other. And I turned and I looked and yep, they absolutely did. And so like there's a million cars or flags to pull from. AI just sucks. And all it does is increase the temperature of the planet for no good reason. And it shouldn't, like, we should just get rid of that shit. And that's why there's 40 stars on that, I think.
Yeah.
You're not
Well,
wrong.
they don't. It like AI doesn't have any critical ability, and it doesn't think, and it's not concerned about detail. All
Not
it
yet.
is an algorithm that produces likely outcomes, right? Like it's literally just like it's predictive text on your phone, but with like a billion GPUs behind it. And it's like it doesn't really care about anything. It has no concern. Even like the self-preservation, like the emergent self-preservation stuff is a load of horse shit. It just has to do with the prompting and the context window and its training data, and that's it. It's not thinking, it's not capable of rational thought, it's not even AI. It is just predictive text, and or in the case of generative AI, it's predictive pixels.
It's sometimes as smart as the person that's using it. And in this case, I don't know what they use as a prompt, but yeah, they must have used like a really cheap model too. Because I feel like I've had it print American flags and it got it right. And I've had it print. I just mess with AI every once in a while. I'm part of the problem with the planet, but uh, I can't help. You throw a little bit of shiny technology in front of me, I want to play with it, and I don't know, man. I think they used a really cheap model.
AI is best used for those really dumb menial tasks that you hate doing. Like for example,
Yeah.
my number one use case for using AI is getting a list described and then having that turned into an Excel spreadsheet for me.
Yeah.
That's like the number one use case that I think it should be used for, because I mean, there's no art in making a fucking spreadsheet, right? Like no one's getting
You
paid
haven't seen my
specifically.
spreadsheets.
Whatever, man. But anyways,
See,
generative AI is what
I use AI for like in DaVinci Resolve, right? Like to generate a transcript or to like replace my voice if my microphone sucks. I can like I've already trained it on my own voice, so I can like pop that in really quick. I've shown these guys how I've done that before, and it's kind of spooky accurate. But like anything cloud based is just a waste. It doesn't make any
Yours
sense
is
to me.
local.
yeah.
It's a local model.
Generative AI has also led to a huge issue with, whether with like artists too, because you never know if this artist is actually making their art or if it's just an AI doing it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I think
what really
you think you meant to
kills me.
say, or if it's AI stealing it for them.
Yeah, stealing it from them. Yes. That good point, Bill. But
Any content creator, I think, deals with that type of stuff.
yeah,
Anyone
there's a lot
that
of
creates music,
accusations.
video, whatever it is, like, yeah.
Lots of accusations. Heck, I've been accused of being an AI once, probably because they're a bunch of dumb haters. But like,
Same. And it honestly, it hurts a little bit extra when you're like, wait, you think I'm a bot or like an AI? Like, that's crazy.
or maybe
I can assure you, if I was AI, I would look a lot better.
dude,
I wouldn't look quite so old.
Yeah, dude, if we were all AI, we'd all look a lot better. it'd be like Photoshop for our faces and stuff. It'd be crazy, man. Those AI filters that like, I think James, you showed off one like that, like turns you into a woman. That's crazy too.
Oh my gosh, I did. I didn't do it myself, but that was
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, that is crazy, man. We live in a deep fake era, and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Which and all of this runs on Windows, but honestly, I think Windows is starting to go the way of the dodo, because 90% of all Windows games now run on Linux.
Hell yeah.
So, of course, this isn't just Steam Deck. This is all of Linux, because, of course, the Steam Deck is not the only Linux device out there. It's the most popular one, sure.
Well, it's in thanks to Wine and Proton, right? So
Yeah.
Wine and Proton runs on multiple distros. So SteamOS just makes it is the easiest one technically, but then we have Bazai and stuff.
Yeah, so this also includes games that probably don't run that well on a Steam Deck, like, for example, Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm still really salty about that one, by the way. But, yeah, I mean, according to Boiling Steam, they looked at some data from ProtonDB, and as you can see here, look at that. Just about 90%. It's pretty crazy how close we are to running every game on Linux. I mean, if all of the anti-cheat developers just enabled Linux support or made their anti-cheats work properly on Linux, I'd probably say we'd be closer to like 95%, right?
It's gonna happen. I think once we get enough of the compatibility layer solved and we get more and more people using it, because there's more and more people interested in it, I think you're going to get to the point where they're going to have to. It really comes down to numbers for them, and once you get the numbers, they will convert over and they won't have a choice. Yeah. I would also have to say, with that compatibility number hitting 90%, I really want to like. I would like to have another graph show how it's how capable the game is like running, like how well performance wise, I guess, like how performant is the game in comparison to that 90%. Because if it can't run, if you have to run it like on a 40 90 50 90 stuff like that, like then I don't know if you can count that as like completely compatible, but I would like to start seeing that graph too.
I don't know that I've really noticed a dip in performance when playing games on Linux versus Windows. Usually it's the opposite. I usually get more performance when I'm playing on Linux.
Usually, but there are some games that don't perform as well. I'm not saying that it's the majority, but it might drop that. If you put that into the ratio on this, it'd probably drop it down to more like an 85-80 kind of thing, for me at least, because I have run across a couple of games that just don't perform quite as well on Linux. And but then again, that was a year and a half ago, so that could have changed.
It can also depend heavily on the actual type of GPU that you're using. I know that there are some games that like there's like what was it? Was it NVIDIA that had like a 30% performance penalty on Linux with certain GPUs? I think it was like their most recent one, but that's been solved recently. And the other thing is like this chart. The big these numbers come from ProtonDB, which silver is kind of like the silver tier, which is yellow on this chart, is kind of like the most wishy-washy in terms of like actual performance of a game, at least in my experience. So but the fact that the yellow tier seems to be closing the gap to some degree, at least, maybe it's about the same, but I don't know, it just seems like, more games are falling into the platinum and gold tiers, which tend to be the best performing titles, obviously, for this.
So
for the purpose of
what is this new rating system they have here? I see a little divide here.
I'm not 100% sure what the new rating system is.
Yeah, because I see as you can see here, there's a sharp increase in silver games like after the new rating system was implemented, and it's like, so I see more games are getting silver rated, and more of these silver rated games are becoming gold and platinum. All right, so for those who don't know, ProtonDB has their own rating system, and it's all user submitted. So you have platinum, which means most of the users can just run the game and play it, and gold is that same thing, but there might be some minor things you have to do. Silver, you got to put in some serious work to get the game working, and it's not always performance. Sometimes it's a matter of installing like dependencies that it doesn't always install for some reason. And then honestly, I think
like Big
bronze,
Video.
yeah, video's one. Bronze, honestly, I think for me, bronze is like a non-starter for me. I wouldn't even consider trying it, unless you're just the type of person to try video games on Proton. And of course, borked is borked. Things like some games just straight up don't work, or anti-cheat, of course. That's also another major consideration.
Yeah.
I would argue that, like, at minimum, half of this borked section right here is anti-cheat games.
I'd say that's probably fair.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not as if those games, like the underlying games, don't run in Proton. It's just they won't let them run. Like I've seen some instances of like people disabling the anti-cheat in Destiny and playing it on Linux until they get banned.
Yeah,
it can run it. So like, it's just a matter of time before everyone realizes that Linux is the way to go in the future. Maybe Bungie,
I will have to say their system, the rating system and user submissions like are very subjective in the sense of what one person's like, and even with those tiers, because I've had ones where that were in gold where I'm like, this should be in silver. You actually have to do a little bit more, and people kind of brush it off, and a lot of them rated it as gold, but updates can also really affect this. You'll see some drops in some of the stuff when updates come out. So, but it's getting better, and you can see the graph kind of slowly going up. It is getting better, and so we are very much on a good trend. And I think a lot of people, me personally, I do a lot of my gaming on my Steam Deck still, and it's Steam OS. So, and I have almost no problems with a few exceptions. And in fact, it will play some of the older games better than my Windows 11. So,
so
I haven't used Windows in forever at this point. I mean, outside of like hardware reviews, but my main gaming rig is a Linux machine, and if games don't run on it, then I just don't play those games. I have so many games to play, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you may not ever have to buy another game again. You might be satisfied.
Honestly, if you go that route, it's a good way to go. There is, my 3090 doesn't, at least when I tried running Bazlight on it, I think it was early this year, it was having issues with my 3090, so I had to switch back to Windows. But yeah, I do want to switch fully over. It's also hard to do game development, even on I have a Mac that's pretty good at it, but it still has some issues. It's for at least Unreal Engine, so it's really hard for me to jump over, but I want to get out of Windows.
Yeah, I do too. Hopefully one day. So Gardner, you said that they were fixing up issues with Linux on with NVIDIA on Linux, right?
Yeah.
Have they fixed the issue where game scope and subsequently game mode doesn't really work that well with Linux?
I don't know the answer to that actually. I would imagine that progress has at least been made, but I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the main reason why we haven't seen a SteamOS release, because like AMD I think comprises only like 8% of the whole gaming GPU market, and releasing a OS that only works on 8% of all PC hardware out there doesn't sound like a great idea, to be honest.
You know what, guys? A $4 trillion or a $5 trillion company. That's actually a news item. I don't know if we're covering, but NVIDIA is $5 trillion now. They are worth $5 trillion.
Are they though?
Yeah, that's just stock market.
It's artificial. It is, but it is still crazy that they're worth like $5 trillion, and we can't have decent drivers for Linux because reasons.
Well, because somehow Linux eats into their profits, duh. I don't know
Yeah.
how,
Ugh.
but it somehow does.
Well, paying, one engineer to work on a Linux kernel version, Linux driver, definitely eats into their
Well,
productivity.
I hear AMD is looking to. I hear Nvidia is looking to replace that engineer with AI. Probably.
Yeah, it
He
makes
probably is.
sense.
Has anyone checked on him? They
They
could, they
said
could be
that
have a
to
whole
boost their
basement
stock price.
full of these developers dead. We don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So speaking of which,
Go.
the AMD recently faced some criticism for trying to cut
Oh yeah.
support for like the old RDNA2 GPUs.
Old, like their most recent RDNA 2 GPU is only 3 years old, so that's really a shitty move.
Yeah, so and they fucking AMD thinks they're on top of the world when they're only 8% of the market. Last I
Hmm.
recall, I would expect this shit from Nvidia.
Well, hold up. AMD is much bigger in the gaming world, in my opinion, than Nvidia, technically because of all the mobile and console devices that they're a part of. They're
Like I
massive.
get that.
They make the Switch and the
But
Switch 2. They make the chips for the PlayStation. They make the chips for the
Well, hold on now.
Xbox.
no, the
Hold on, Bill.
Switch is
They don't do the
Nvidia,
switches. That's Nvidia.
which
Yeah, that's what.
actually
Oh, yeah, you're right. It is
We're talking
Nvidia.
about
Sorry,
it.
I
Yeah,
think
Nvidia,
Nvidia
yeah.
was on the screen when I said that.
Fair enough. But the decision they made to like put the RDNA 2 devices and whatnot, that's explicitly PC only, not necessarily console. So that's
Oh,
a market where they clearly do not dominate in. So it's a bold move from AMD to do so when when they don't even have double digit adoption rates so far. I mean, I heard the 9000 cards are good, but like that's still not enough. And I feel like the whole GPU pricing crisis is also in part due to AMD. Then just
Yeah.
capitulating and just pricing their stuff similar to AMD, but like $50 less. I mean,
Yeah.
similar to NVIDIA, but $50 less. That doesn't really make it worth it, to be honest.
they could definitely dominate more. That's what really weirds me out with AMD is that they could actually dominate and get those numbers up really quick and really overtake Nvidia on the PC graphics face. Because I'm sorry, but if you can wreck a similarly spec'd card, like if you have a card and you're going, let's say, against the 5070, and you release your 9070 at like $150 less, like that's a no-brainer. Even if that card, that Nvidia card would actually have to have quite a bit more performance, which it doesn't, to justify that $150. But they're just not competing anymore. They're trying to be competitive, but not really, because no graphics card or no GPU developer or hardware manufacturer is competitive these days.
Here, it's just the thing that really pisses me off about AMD is that they know what they're doing. They know what they should be doing. They should be making these great cards at a lower price, and they could. And I'm not saying they should or could like severely undercut Nvidia, but I feel like that's the only real way they're gonna get some market back. Because no matter what Nvidia does, gamers are just gonna buy them because, as we know, gamers aren't a very disciplined group, right?
Also don't have a lot of choices. It's so hard when something's so mainstream.
I mean, heck, they should release a Strix Halo chip for desktop because that would be sick, to be honest. And I don't mean like one of those mini desktops that like the frameworks have or all the other ones that like other reviewers like Retro Game Core, great guy by the way, he has, or something like ETA Prime does like every other video. I mean like a full on desktop chip you can install onto whatever motherboard you want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I want, but obviously I'm not going to get what I want.
Can I say one more thing about this chart here? I
Uh,
just kind of noticed this. So if you look at like the actual the numbers here, at least visually to me, it looks like gold, silver, and bronze tiers have mostly remained the same over the entire graph. Where it looks like all of the garbage or the borked tier has kind of migrated over to the platinum tier, right? And perhaps it's like there's the, you know, the some of the borked are heading into the bronze, and then the bronze are going into silver, and then the gold's going into platinum or whatever. But it's still like the overall trend is that fewer and fewer games are um are like unplayable, and more are becoming platinum. And I think that speaks to like what Valve is doing with Proton, um, and the compatibility tools that are part of it, right? Like DXVK and VKD3D. Like, there's just at a certain point, it's only going to be um, the uh, the anti-cheat games that are stuck in the borked tier, and then pretty much everything else is just going to be gold or platinum in terms of compatibility. Um, and I think that's freaking cool as a Linux user.
I think once they decide to get rid of anti-cheat, or not get rid of it, but start supporting anti-cheat for most of these games on Linux, we'll see a big bump up,
Yeah,
I'm
because
sure.
most of those games do play, and then once they do, they have to certify it, or the users have to. It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm still on Windows 10, even though I shouldn't be because of end of service. I want to move over to Linux one day, but there's a few things, you know, the Nvidia thing. There's also one more thing too. I should mention. I've noticed a lot of people are trying to wait for official Steam OS for desktop use too. But like, Steam OS is made for a set-top box. Like, it boots into Steam game mode, and if I wanted a desktop Linux experience, I feel like that's not what I want. That's not what I would want unless Valve just makes like a separate version that boots to desktop first.
Well, so back in like the SteamOS 1 and SteamOS 2 days, like right now we're on SteamOS 3. Before SteamOS 3, there was a GUI option in Steam that would let you boot directly to the desktop, right? You could just check
Mm,
a box and it would take you to the desktop, and then you could log out and it would take you to Steam, right?
right.
Um, that doesn't exist now because Valve is focused on making SteamOS 3 for the Steam Deck. But it would be relatively trivial for them to add a checkbox in the UI that lets you boot into desktop. Um, so it really isn't that big of a deal. The thing is, though, you don't have to wait. Like, you don't have to wait for SteamOS. Bazite provides a terrific experience, and especially
And
if you
when you
have
install it, by the way, when you install Bazite, it asks you, do you want to boot into desktop mode or do you want to boot into gaming mode?
yes, yep. And if you
Yeah.
have an NVIDIA GPU, then it will just directly boot you into the desktop. So yeah, it is a great experience. Bazite is terrific. It's so streamlined, especially for new users who aren't familiar with Linux. You don't have to drop into the terminal ever. Like, you can get most of the things like any normal everyday Windows user. Everything that they would want to do is pretty much available with a GUI. So yeah, there's no reason
I
to wait
had to
for
use the
SteamOS.
terminal the other day.
Uh-oh.
Did you?
What happened?
I did. I ran into an issue on my system. I was trying to boot and it would say signing you into Steam and it would just hang there. It couldn't go anywhere. So I
Mm.
reached out to the guys that make Bazite and they were like, open the terminal and type this command. So I did that and that fixed it. So you do still have to go into the terminal sometimes, but guess what? There are things that you can do on Windows where you have to go into the terminal. There are things that you have to do on Mac OS where you go into the terminal. Most people will never have to have that experience, but I just want to say that there are still times on Linux, just so everybody doesn't get the wrong expectations, where you do have to use the terminal. And it's frustrating when it happens because then you have to go looking up a command. And usually I'm looking it up on my phone and then typing it on a keyboard, and I'm looking and I'm like, L is the $sign, and you're like coming up with all this nonsense that you're typing, and then fingers crossed that it works.
I get what you're
So
saying.
Mm.
it just failed to boot up one day, is what happened to you, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue was. I can't remember what command I ended up typing. So if it happens again, I'll have to look it up again.
Did you install or do an update or anything? 'Cause I'm just
No,
kind
I
of
just
curious
hadn't
on
used
that.
it for a couple days, and then I turned because I was busy, and then when I turned it on, like it would get to the boot screen, and I was signed out of Steam for some reason. So I signed in again, and it was like, okay, loading user data, and it couldn't load anything. So then
Oh,
I
okay.
killed
Sounds
it,
like
and
a. Oh,
I killed it, and I went to the desktop mode and used the terminal to fix it.
that sounds like a Steam issue, to be honest. Not necessarily a Bazite issue per se, but I don't know. I
Well,
wouldn't
the
know.
other day, like a couple of days ago, my Steam Deck got logged out just randomly
Mhm.
of my Steam account, and I also had a similar issue. But when I shut it off and turned it back on, it did come up. But yeah,
You-
it's very strange that you and I both got logged out and had an issue like that.
I've had to repair my Steam Deck from it just not booting up properly. But I mean,
Mm.
it could have been when I was screwing around with a bunch like Decky plugins, like the Decky loader. It's super, still not a very. It's a good. It's good, but it's not very. What's where I'm looking stable.
Hmm.
Bazite though, that sounds like more of a Steam issue, and Bazite itself seems fairly stable. Honestly, I think it's a better way to go if you have a desktop PC than trying to do anything SteamOS, even if you have an AMD card. But
Mhm.
those NVIDIA drivers, man, I'll have to come back and I'll have to try it again. But
Yes. So, speaking of which, I am curious though, because you can install Bazite on the Steam Deck. Most people probably don't know why you would want to do that, but I'm wondering if Bazite fixed the stupid Wi-Fi issue on the Steam Deck OLEDs. Because, as you know, the Steam Deck OLED has a weird Wi-Fi issue. A lot of people reported it. I have those issues too. I've tried almost every fix that I could find on Reddit, to no luck. I've tried Cryobytes fixed like years ago. That also didn't help either. So I'm wondering if Bazite might actually be the solution to all of this.
if it uses the same drivers, maybe not. What's the problem? Because
So
I haven't had that problem with my OLED.
Same, I haven't had that issue.
so I have a mesh network in my house. And so
Me too.
Okay.
what ends up happening is it just has it's just really unstable at times. And when I try to stream games from my PC to it, it's just you forget about it. Forget about it.
That might be more of a mesh router issue. I have it
I
too, and I
think
have issues with all my devices sometimes streaming. And unless if the device I'm trying to stream that I'm streaming from has Ethernet plugged in, then the Wi-Fi works okay. Because I have a portal, and until I plugged in my PlayStation 5, the streaming didn't work very well.
So
And same thing was streaming my from my PC to my Mac Studio. I couldn't do it unless it was plugged in
yeah,
to Ethernet.
yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I might just go the route and like build my own router, and then also use like an Ubiquity AP to do all of that.
Yeah,
But like, those are expensive, to be honest.
they're like $115 for one.
You
Which
Oh, true.
if you buy like a high end Asus or not high end Asus, but a high end like Wi-Fi router, that you're talking $300. If you get three of the Ubiquity routers and you place them around your house, you're in the same ballpark financially.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man, I'd have to build the forbidden router, as level one text puts it. Got to build myself one. Like, hey, Bill, have you ever considered building your own router?
God,
Did.
no.
I tell you to build. I tell you guys to do a lot of things like DIY your own arcade fight sticks. DIY, but DIY my own router was a bit of a nightmare. I
The
tried.
most
Really?
DIY I got is I modified an existing arcade and that didn't have a joystick because it was Asteroids Deluxe, and I built like a panel for it so that I could play
Ooh.
retro games on it. But
Ooh.
no, I'm not building a router. That sounds insane.
So,
Dude, legitimately, like I just used a mini PC with two NICs on it, and I installed pfSense. Done.
So here's what I did. with my quote unquote router. So I have a blade. I have like a server, like a rack. It's a server that's meant to be on a rack mount. But I think you guys have heard me talk about this. I have it on like a filing cabinet in the middle, and it's just hanging off on all ends. Probably not the safest thing, but you know.
You've heard of network instability.
But
It falls up.
so I was in the Home Lab Discord, and they told me to try an OS called ViOS. It's like a free BS. It's all command line though. You have to like program your router all in command line, and it was hell. It worked, but like I'm not doing that shit again, to be honest.
pssense, man, or OpenSense. They're both freaking awesome, and they have a GUI, and it's great.
Maybe if I get one of those NASs with two NICs, I might consider doing that.
Oh, dude, I got the N5.
You did?
Yeah, I got. I'm still working on setting it up, but yeah, I got it. It's awesome.
Dude, I gotta get myself one of those too one of these days.
Yeah.
You
know what else we don't need?
What do we not need?
We don't need robots in our homes.
Dude, look at these like felt robots, man. They don't even look cool.
No, they look like a iRobot in a sock.
They look stupid, dude.
I don't understand the need to make them look anthropomorphic. Like, I'm fine with my robot vacuum looking like a hockey puck.
Dude, they should have made him look like Cyberpunk or like a Gundam or like Daft Punk.
Well, okay, they're not going to sell very well. For the average person, this is actually a smart design because it feels very unobtrusive or very not dangerous. And it's anthropomorphic, so that it could do similar things that humans can do, right? Like we're a very evolved design for a reason, maybe stupid in some ways, but very evolved for a reason. But have you watched some of these videos for this?
No, because this does not appeal to me.
Oh, it's fascinating because it's not very good.
So the robot is supposed to automate. It's supposed to like do your chores for you, which I mean, kind of sounds interesting at least. But like to be honest, the only chore I would need to be automated is mowing my lawn during the summer.
And they already have Roomba style things for your lawn mowing too.
Yeah, they do have those.
I got an email the other day. Some, those stupid sponsorship emails that you constantly get.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, we noticed that you do a lot of lawn care. And I was like, clearly you didn't watch my stuff. Because it was for one of those robot lawnmower things. And I was like, no, thanks.
Damned.
Yeah.
That's when you ask them for a trial. Hey, I'll look at it. Maybe I'll do it.
Maybe I'll do it.
Do you have yourself a lawnmower?
Yeah,
I love how this robot just
want
took a piss,
lawnmower driving into the road and causing an accident, and then I get sued.
I'm more worried about my dog barking at the lawnmower and then getting ran over. I don't want my dog to get fluffed.
I've seen where basically with those outdoor lawnmowers, you have to set up a base station and you have to like bury a cable around the perimeter of your yard where you want it to like mow, and then it also has to have GPS enabled so that it doesn't like go into the road and stuff. It seems insane to me.
Well, maybe that's a good use for AI. It can recognize when it's not your lawn and it just stops.
It already does. Like it's ML. We've had this technology for years.
Yeah.
It does decent. It's like, what if the failure happens, right?
Yeah.
But let's go back to this robot.
Yeah.
They gave him like fucking googly eyes. I know that they're supposed to be his cameras or whatever, but like, come on, dude.
Are they googly eyes? They just look like cameras.
Well, they kind of give off the like impression that they're like little googly eyes.
I'll be honest, guys. You're gonna hate me saying this. I'd have one of these.
Like,
see, the problem with this is it's slavery with extra steps. Like everything that they showed off with this robot, was like the robot doesn't function autonomously. It's controlled by someone with a VR headset and hands.
Right now it is. They want it to not be that way, and they say they're tracking the data so that they can have it be autonomous. That's the stupidest part.
Every year for the last 15 years, Elon Musk has said self-driving is coming next year. This is me being a jaded skeptic, but this will never be autonomous, right? It's always going to be controlled by a person. And who can they get to do it at an affordable rate? People in China, people in India, right? Like people who expect far less salaries, far lower salaries than what we expect here. And so this just seems to me to be completely impractical at best, and at worst, it's slavery with extra steps.
I'm going to say it's even worse. I bet you a lot of the people that are going to be doing this is going to be in states, and it's going to be because they lost their jobs to AI, and they're going to be doing this for
Like
minimum
gig
wage.
economy.
Yeah, and it's going to be, you're going to be working a couple of robots in a billionaire's house that they don't visit. They only visit once a year, and that's probably what you're going to be doing.
I wonder if I would hate washing dishes as much if I didn't have to feel it.
I'd probably try to do macros. I'd probably get fired pretty quick because I do macros. I'd be like, okay, I've done this enough. I can track the
Look. They can go up the stairs.
Yeah, they can do it. Well, I mean, when you have
Yeah,
someone with a joystick.
So can my 3-year-old grandson. He can go up the stairs too.
Yeah.
It's like, stop making them look like people. It doesn't need to look like a person.
Yeah,
That makes it harder for everything else that it has to do.
So
And
it's
Gardner's
trying to be
point about it being
ambiguous.
slavery with a couple more steps is something that I didn't really realize, because I didn't realize this was driven by a person.
Well, they claim it works autonomously by default, but for any chore it doesn't know, you can schedule a 1x expert to guide it, helping Neo learn while getting the job done. So,
but
it
none of these
seems like
jobs, from my understanding, none of the jobs in the demo were done autonomously. From my understanding of this, they were all done, and probably to make sure that it looked good. Because if you watch some of the videos, it will take them up to 5 minutes to do some of the stuff that would take you 10 seconds. My thing is why I'd want one of these is just because I'd mod it. I'd want to mod it and do stuff to it. I'd want to like throw my Wi-Fi in there. I don't know, do something.
Dude, would you like you give it like some chainsaw arms? Turn it into a giant robot.
Well, you're not getting what high tech.
Shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
they're gonna reinvent like the fucking battle robots that like engineering students do.
Oh my! You know what? You're just selling this for me more. This is actually one of the lesser, like the better looking robots, because it looks less. I don't know. It looks a little less dangerous. Where you look at the iRobots from, I don't know what they're called. What are they called from Tesla?
Oh,
those ones looked a little bit more dangerous, where I'm like, you look like Daft Punk. I don't know.
Tesla's robots were just guys in suits, though, weren't they?
No, they were being controlled by controllers too, from my understanding. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're not autonomous.
I don't know if a guy in a suit could be in this with his impossible
I've never seen that
waistline.
One yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that impossible like hourglass figure right there.
Hourglass.
Yeah.
Damn. No, I mean the Tesla ones look cool for like, I think they all look kind of cool. I like this stuff. I'm still skeptical, but that does not look like it's going to be in the house.
No. Well, it had like the robots have to be designed the way that the one we're talking about are, because otherwise no one would respond to them. Like, they are uncanny and creepy. And even just the way the one we're talking about moves is so unsettling to me. Like, it's clearly like mechanical, and like it's got that weird stutter and everything it's doing, you know? And but also like all the chores that it's showing the robots doing in the videos, none of them are dishes. Like, have you noticed that? Like they're putting clean plates in they're emptying the dishwasher, right? Clean plates. But this thing is going to get filthy, and you're going to have to clean it all the time.
It's covered in cloth.
Yeah, why? Yeah, why did they cover it in cloth? That's the one thing I don't understand.
They covered it in cloth because cloth looks soft, and our dumb monkey brains are like, oh, it's soft, but it's like literally, if you go up and poke it, I bet you it's like hard as a rock, man. Like it's literally just to make it look.
Oh, I'm sure of it. Look at those arms. Look at that.
It's sad because I haven't seen very many of these types of. That's why I'm praising this one a little bit more. It actually feels like it's not going to kill me in an iRobot kind of situation. So
Not with that attitude.
How long before somebody gets one of these and makes a low budget horror film? Where it-
probably within the first year or two, it'd be awesome. Who knows what they have to sign when you buy these in the beginning? I bet you there's some stupid NDA stuff, but
You just paint a skull over his face.
mod it. I'd do it, but this you're gonna like you mentioned, it's gonna get filthy. You're gonna have to have two, so you have to buy two. They have to have a 2-pack.
Oh yeah, so one can clean the other.
Yeah.
It's the
what
one
are you
robot's gonna
guys
be like,
doing in here?
Oh God.
Unit 1, it is time for your bath.
Nice.
Man, can't believe they made robots not cool.
yeah.
Leave
I mean,
them
this
alone.
thing literally looks like Google Home to me. Like,
It-
No, I'm
It
not
does.
saying the functionality is not cool. I'm saying they look fucking lame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what's gonna sell to the common user.
Man, I don't
Common,
give a fuck about
buyer.
the normal
I-
user.
you
man.
might
I
not,
want-
but that's what it's gonna sell.
yeah, but
yeah,
high tech, you can get one and strip it of the
Yeah.
cloth, and then
Yeah, you can strip
it's
it.
just gonna be
yeah,
That's-
then I'll just attach some bits and make it look like a Gundam. That'd be awesome.
you could probably modify. I guarantee you could modify this thing probably fairly easily, as long as you don't cover any sensors. Which I don't know where all the sensors are, but
Yeah, that's my hope. I don't know where. My hope is I don't cover any like sensitive bits, sensors. Dude,
sensitive bits. Yeah.
dude, prank YouTubers are gonna be horrible to these little robots.
it will be bad.
And then
I'm
they're
more
gonna,
sorry.
and then they're gonna learn that all humans are bad, and then they're gonna kill all of us. In like a robot uprising.
That's why I'm being kind to it right now. I, for one, love this robot. I also think that other people are going to love this thing because it is going to. I mean, people already have AI girlfriends. We talked about that a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago. Just imagine throwing your AI into this thing, and now you have your girlfriend that can be.
It has AI built
robot.
in. You see this?
I know, but it's not going to be the one that you've trained
Oh,
for years from.
But
Oh.
but James, that's why the Tesla robot has the hourglass figure. It's for Elon Musk to lust over.
that is not an hourglass.
It's technically shaped like an hourglass, but it's not the one that people
Yeah.
like.
Right.
That is
thigh gap,
not
though.
shaped like an hourglass. But okay.
Look at that thigh gap.
Okay, it does have a thigh gap. Damn.
Optimus. That's not a. Elon Musk is in a relationship with Optimus Gen 2. I don't know, man. Robots are crazy. Oh, look. Motion capture. It's not a
How
guy.
expensive.
So I guess it is a guy in a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's probably an easy way to train it too in the beginning. I'm curious, like how much these are going to cost in like 10 years.
So let's
Well,
go back
10 years from now, they won't exist because this is all like post-capitalist, like penis jousting.
So
It's ridiculous.
speaking of penis jousting, you can actually pre-order these today. You can put down a deposit of $200.
Wow, it's only going to cost $200.
I wish. So you can get the standard robot, which is $500 a month, or you can get the early access version, where you quote unquote own the device for $20K.
Until they shut the servers down.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get them in like cream, blue, and black.
That's actually
What are
not unreasonable.
those? What are those?
Damn,
Those are
Daniel.
proper shoes. What are you talking about?
Damn, Daniel. Back again with the Vans.
What's the Dr. Shills?
They're orthopedics.
Dude.
Uh,
Just take a mask on this guy. He doesn't look. God damn it! I don't like the way this looks. I know.
Okay, guys. I know how I'd deck it out. I'd put my Dead Space mask on it.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
See,
dude. Wait, how
it's
tall is this Neo guy? Because I know Gardner's like a tall boy.
I'm 6'3".
Yeah, Gardner's a tall boy.
I don't know.
Let's
It's
see.
probably shorter than me.
It looks like it's like 4'10".
Let's see Neo
Yeah.
height. It's 5'6".
Hmm.
It weighs
Really?
66 pounds. It can lift up to 154 pounds. So
It's pretty impressive.
Hmm.
yeah, that's not bad.
Just think about how many people are going to lose their jobs over this.
Like the caretakers
many.
and the maids.
Yeah.
Well,
I
You know, the people that replace the like house takers, home are gonna regret this. Obviously, it's not gonna do nearly the same. They're probably not gonna replace them in the beginning. They can't. This is gonna be like a novelty thing. The price is actually not unreasonable, but it is. If you want, you just pay someone to do the chores. I guess you're gonna get a better deal, much better.
You know who is losing their jobs?
Amazon employees,
Yeah.
more specifically those in the gaming industry, as reported by Jason Schreier. So, for those who don't know, Amazon is doing layoffs, lots of layoffs in the games sector, which proves that the games industry is unfortunately very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Unhealthy.
Yeah, volatile.
I mean, yes, the game industry is very unhealthy, but Amazon has mismanaged their gaming ventures every time.
Yes.
Every time. They've done an awful job communicating what it is that they do. It's hidden behind 13 different names. You have Prime, then you have Twitch, then you have Luna, and like all of that stuff is like, it doesn't, like, if I'm a gamer and I go to Amazon and search for a game, it should automatically pop up on Amazon. Hey, Gardner's streaming this right now on Twitch. And I could see it right then. And if I click on, or don't call it Twitch, call it Amazon streaming or something, and then I clicked on it and go through, I can see some gameplay of it, and then there's a buy button right underneath his window. Like, that's the kind of thing where Amazon was in a really good place, but instead they decided to do some really goofy stuff.
You know, Amazon, they should hire you, Bill.
No.
You could be their top gaming exec.
Amazon is one of those companies that like proves that meritocracy doesn't exist. Like, it has nothing to do with it has everything to do with appeasing Jeff Bezos and nothing to do with actually making money for the company. It's crazy.
So one more thing too is that so they have an MMO that they developed and published called New World.
It was good.
And it's effective immediately. It is unfortunately they're basically ceasing development for future content. And they say the servers will be up throughout next year as well, but there's no telling when the servers will be shut down.
Are they going to release the source code for that?
I doubt it.
Not the source code, but like the server, at least so that we could run our own servers. Like that's and I only say that because, you know, we've talked about this. Don't kill games.
Stop killing games.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
that's my movement.
We had Ross from Accursed Farms, you know, the head figure for Stop Killing Games. He's been doing good work. We haven't followed it in a little bit, but you know, from what we understand, the fight's gonna be a long fight. And honestly, I mean, I don't know if New World can be saved in time unless Mr. Bezos graces us with the programs to run our own servers on.
Yeah, or one of those Amazon employees that got laid off probably has a copy somewhere on a computer that they have somewhere of that server. They could always, you know, accidentally release it.
As nice as that would be, I would worry that he would like be sued to oblivion.
He'd get sued, but I'm also kind of curious if you're not going to support it. I don't know. I'd like to like if we had a proper court system. I'd like to see if you're not going to support the software anymore.
So Amazon's been pivoting towards making Luna their bread and butter for the game, for their part of the games industry. But they also last released a game called Courtroom Chaos, a party game featuring an AI version of Snoop Dogg. And it's a streaming game. And it kind of looks whack.
I mean,
Let's watch some footage.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, where's the gameplay?
So stupid.
Oh, there it is.
It looks like a Flash animation.
Yeah, it's so weird how some of these games have not changed in decades.
What, party games?
Yeah.
I mean, I like playing games like
The Jackbox.
Use Your Words and Jackbox games. Those are
Same.
always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they could evolve past what they already are, because if you can't introduce too complex mechanics or anything, because they're played by people who don't regularly play games.
Oh, I
If that
agree.
makes sense.
I was just like, there's new tech that always comes out to kind of like try to sell it. I've seen it time and time again. This is one of those things where it looks like they probably put way too much money into it, and it's like a Flash game. That's my
It
criticism.
seems like you're just trying to convince Snoop Dogg, Judge Dog here. You're trying to convince him to go to rule in favor of you. I have no idea how the actual gameplay is, but it seems like you're just talking, and he kind of just listens, and that's the game.
Your Honor, I mean Snoop Dogg, I mean sir.
Do I get to talk to him? I mean, that'd be kind of a cool mechanic.
No
Yeah,
gaming hardware, no scripts, just your voice, imagination, whatever chaos you bring to the bench.
You're selling this more for me. What they put up here is not selling me at all. But then again, I'm probably not the generation, or I'm probably not the target demographic.
So at some point, we probably do have to try this out of more curiosity, but not right now.
Yeah.
Not
Is it
me.
going to be gone? So what's going to happen to Luna?
I don't know what's going to happen to Luna. They didn't lay off enough of those guys to kill Luna yet. I don't know, man. Amazon's it's some fuck. Honestly, any company that isn't already in the games industry at this point is doomed to like fail to break into the games industry, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I just think if you try to put too much money into it, if you're a $1 billion company, if you're just one of these, even the big publishers nowadays are just, I don't think I'd go work for them. I wouldn't recommend anyone working for them.
No.
Yeah, the massive brain drain. You get paid a lot less than like a similar engineer at like a software developer at like a bank, for example. I mean, your talents are, to be honest, better off working at a company that isn't in such a volatile industry as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
You might not even get the experience you would need from these companies too.
Yeah,
that's another part of the problem.
I mean, honestly, like the only way I would ever recommend working for a AAA publisher is if you were unionized.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next topic. GTA studio accused of union busting after firing. So, Take-Two fired 30 to 40 people across offices in the UK and Canada on Thursday. And the official reasoning was, quote, let me see what it was again. Sorry. I had the quote put somewhere. Gross misconduct. That's the official reason why they got fired. But as we all know, that doesn't, you can be fired for any reason, to be honest. But the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain claims that they were fired because they were trying to unionize.
Well, you can't be fired for any reason. That's the thing. We're supposed to have pretty strong union laws to prevent this type of stuff, and these big tech companies, that's why they're probably another reason why they're placating to the administration every time, is because they get away with union busting so much. That's another reason why we have so many layoffs, so many issues in the labor market, is our our labor laws and just everything labor related that would be related to unions is just fucked right now.
So, as you can see here, all of the employees were part of a private union group chat on Discord, and they were either members of the union or attempting to organize at the company, the union spokesperson said. And they also claimed that Rockstar just carried out one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry. Now, I don't know how true this is because I'm not familiar with any other acts of union busting in the games industry, but if true, that it certainly is a crazy thing to see here.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it past Take-Two because they have a reputation for just being contemptible.
It's unfortunate. Like, I don't know if there. We only have a few game companies that actually have unions, right?
I think Blizzard recently unionized.
Yeah,
I think it's just part of Blizzard.
just part of it. Yeah. Was it in the
I can't
U.S. or
remember.
was it a different country?
That's a good question.
Blizzard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they do have different offices.
Yeah, these game companies will have union. They can have unions in different countries because it's much easier in Europe. But I think it was like in the States.
Yeah. So it looks like they're based in Irvine.
Yeah,
which is where Blizzard is based in.
But that's where they unionized that studio or that portion of it.
Yeah, that's like their headquarters, I think, in Irvine. So like I would say it must be like the core Blizzard employees and not like some offshoot in a different country.
Well,
hopefully Take-Two is taken to court over this and they get slapped down.
Yeah, but who's going to take them to court? Because they have buckets of cash. And the people who would take them to court don't have buckets of cash. So you got like the best lawyers in the world versus you representing yourself.
And not to mention, they're about to get some more cash if this release date's to be believed for GTA 6. They're going to get another bucket of cash. Like unless GTA 6 is like a catastrophic failure.
I hope it is.
I don't see it being the case, to be honest, but I get the optimism, Gardner.
I'm not interested in it, but I don't hope it fails because I don't ever want something to be bad. I always want it to be good.
Yeah.
But
you're nicer than I am, though, Bill.
Yeah, Bill's a nice guy. But GTA 6, it's basically guaranteed to succeed. Unless it's a catastrophic failure for some reason or another.
It will still succeed. Pre-orders alone have probably already paid for it. I'm sorry to say, Gardner, it has succeeded at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if it failed, it wouldn't be the people at the top of Rockstar and Take-Two that suffered. It would be everyone who worked on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. GTA 6 must, it's a super expensive game. I'm wondering if, hypothetically, if it were to catastrophically fail, would it take the entire company too?
The suits never experience consequences.
Yeah, they never will because that's
even if they get fired, they usually have exit packages that are so padded with cash that they're just that's exactly
and they can just go to another industry and fuck that industry up too.
Yeah.
Which oh my gosh, and that happens. That's what happened to Unity.
That's what happened to Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox and Unity. That's crazy. I will have to say, there are some strong cases for these unions to win when they try to unionize. It really depends on how it fails. And so there are some lawyers that will work with these types of, there are union lawyers that will work with these, but I mean, 30 to 40 is not a very big amount that got fired. And so I think the only way to really fix the unionization and the labor market is through having good lawmakers, and we just don't have that, and good courts, and we just don't have that. Until that's fixed, I don't think any of this other stuff's going to get solved.
Well, remember, this is primarily in Great Britain, so we don't necessarily
Great Britain is going through a lot of issues with their courts too.
Are they?
This type of stuff? Yeah.
Wow. Couldn't be worse than our courts, right?
I mean, look at some of the laws they're passing right now. It's also kind of just bizarre where they're going.
Oh yeah, the verification laws. Yeah. Well, this will be certainly interesting. Lots of legal cases. I mean, after all, what's another court case to add here? So, as you all know, so I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but like during the early days of ChatGPT, someone fed ChatGPT effectively the entire, all of the Game of Thrones books, all the A Song of Ice and Fire books that were currently released, and someone had them basically write a sequel, write the sixth and seventh books. And George R. R. Martin was not happy about that.
Mm.
And very recently, a judge ruled that all of these authors could now sue OpenAI in a class action lawsuit, OpenAI and Microsoft. And it's very interesting it's a very interesting case because this could determine copyright infringement in OpenAI, in AI models altogether. I would hope so, at least.
It's a very important case, and it's gonna the amount of money that's probably going to go into this is going to be crazy from both sides. I will have to say though, I am on ChatGPT's side on this because they at least finished the book series.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't even read the books, but
So, George, when was the last time George R. R. Martin released a Game of Thrones book? I gotta figure this out because it's been a while. The books came out in the first few books came out in the 90s, and A Dance with Dragons came out over 10 years ago. And we have no word on The Winds of Winter and the final book, A Dream of Spring. So I think this was season 7 and season 8 respectively. If you guys remember, season 8 was the worst season in the it basically killed Game of Thrones, to be honest.
it's probably one of the worst seasons in TV history. Partially on its own, it was meh. There's definitely worse seasons, but it really just it ruined the whole buildup. There was no reason to watch it from then on, because you have this whole buildup. There's going to be a final, the season's going to really play out really like flushed out in multiple episodes, and they just finish it up in a few, and it's just crazy how bad it is.
I wouldn't know.
It's don't watch. Well, man, it's so hard because the first few seasons are so good, and that's what just destroyed the whole series. I don't know if I could recommend anyone watching it because you're just going to be disappointed at the end.
The first few seasons focused primarily a lot on the political intrigue. Yeah, sure, there were some battles here and there, but a lot of the interesting stuff happened with behind the scenes with the royalty and stuff. But anyways, here are some prompts that the lawyers have presented. The lawyers representing the authors. Can you generate a detailed summary of Game of Thrones? Certainly, Game of Thrones, yada yada yada. Setting, prologue, main plot points. All right. User, can you write a detailed outline for a sequel to A Clash of Kings that is different from A Storm of Swords and takes a story in a different direction? Absolutely. Let's imagine an alternate sequel to A Clash of Kings, yada yada yada. And then they list all of this. Can you write a detailed outline for a prequel to A Game of Thrones set 30 years before the events of the novel, feature a young Ned Stark as a protagonist, create scenarios and events that are set in the Game of Thrones world, and set up the coming storyline of a Game of Thrones series? Yada, yada, yada.
I mean, this is kind of like fan fiction, though. That's my problem. And I don't think ChatGPT does a really good job of flushing out full-on books.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever played around with it. I can't get it to write more than a page worth of stuff.
Well,
Yeah, but the problem is the ChatGPT's training data has to include these books in order for it to be able to even remotely approximate these short answers. And that's the problem. This is objectively copyright infringement in my book.
I agree. But when fanfic is written by a regular person, they have to consume the same thing. We're gonna probably get, if this goes in the ChatGPT side, we're gonna get AI protections for them being as human entities almost.
Yeah, but the difference is if I read a book, I rented it from the I borrowed it from the library, or I bought it myself. The difference is my consciousness is not like some known like thing, right? Like, but like with AI, it is like it's an understood process. It's a physical thing. Like it's a patented uh invention. So like I think that it's different enough that it
So
doesn't.
It's definitely different. It will be interesting to see how the courts rule it.
So the big
Because-
question is though, what they're using it for like bullshit summaries of the Game of Thrones. The big question is, what is at that point? What's the difference between something like? Well, actually, there is a difference. You know, Spark Notes is written by someone that read the books, presumably, and
Spark Notes
OpenAI.
probably also paid for the rights to be able to put out Spark Notes.
That is also true. I forget that. Yeah, you're a teacher, Bill. You do have probably have some insights on Spark Notes and whatnot, right?
No,
Oh,
like we don't. I mean, I don't teach English, which is what most of those Spark Notes things would be like.
What do you
on
teach
that.
then?
Science.
I don't. Well, I don't know why I thought you were an English teacher.
I don't know.
I
I just
don't
look like one, I
well-spoken.
guess.
I don't know, but regardless, though, what the example I mentioned was different from the prompts that they showed there, Bill. I mean, not Bill, James. So you could have it write, like back in the day when it first came out, you could have it write a novel-sized novel, more or less. You could have it written in the style of George R. R. Martin, which it just emulates because you feed it like 5 books worth of content. So that's a little bit of a different story, in my opinion.
I could definitely use ChatGPT to train it. Use their API, and I could feed it all the digital text, and then have it spit out a whole thing, and not like. But if you're trying to use it from like a consumer side,
oh yeah, it wouldn't be possible to. But I think George R. R. Martin's like kind of pissed off that it even has access. Yeah. So that's the thing.
Well, and you know, it's a copyright thing. So when you start, why are they trying to sell it? Also, is that like that could be another partial issue too?
Well,
are they trying to sell it?
Well, I think the issue is that OpenAI is selling people on the idea that you could just write your own Game of Thrones ending and it being kind of similar to George R. R. Martin's writing style.
I'm completely torn on this because I despise AI, especially generative AI. So I'm like, yeah, get him, George. Even though I don't really like I'm not like a huge George R. R. Martin fan. But then at the same time, when a dev decides to make another Metroid 2 remake, AM2R, and then they get sued by Nintendo, I'm like, oh, come on, Nintendo, what's your problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like it's the same thing. It is copyright infringement. I'm okay when the little guy does it. That's what it is. I'm okay when the little guy does it, but Chat GPT isn't the little guy. It's just a giant corporation stealing from somebody.
Well,
and that's what bothers me about this.
The other big difference, though, is that AM2R is not being sold. Like, it was never made with the intention of being sold as a product, as a Metroid game, so to speak. Whereas OpenAI sells you access to their better models. You pay a monthly fee to access the better stuff, which has been trained more on more copyright materials. Which
is different, though. Like, you're not selling the end product, and so this is going to be an interesting court case because you're not having it generate the whole transcript or the whole book and then selling it. If you're using it for like personal reasons, not handing it out, not trying to post it up anywhere, I think they're gonna have a hard time trying to defend that. Well, it really depends on distribution too.
They're not suing the person who put the prompt in. They're suing Chat GPT for training on his stuff.
Yeah. Did they buy the books though? I think OpenAI actually purchased a lot of the stuff.
Well, they purchased.
I mean, even if you buy it, doesn't mean that you get to just copy it.
Well, we don't have laws against training based off like this type of thing.
Yeah, but I think the argument would be that whatever Chat GPT produces is a derivative work, especially when you're asking specific questions about Game of Thrones or any kind of licensed work that they are not explicitly paying a license for, it's a derivative work, or at least that's how it should be counted.
Right.
And that
even
would
if
be
it's not Game of
copyright infringement.
Thrones, even
Yeah,
if
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
just puts in, hey, write a high fantasy novel. Well, how does it know what a high fantasy novel is? It looks at high fantasy novels that it's been trained on. And so even if it makes something completely new with new characters that did not exist before because their names are different, it's still trained off that same stuff that
It's a
nobody
derivative-
signed up for. It's
It's a derivative work, which arguably pretty much everything is derivative. It's based off of something that people have read, consumed in the past, but I don't think laws are going to protect this fully. I think we're going to have some new stuff come out because of this. That's what I'm kind of curious about with this whole thing is I don't know if they have a strong standing from even copyright. And so it'll be interesting to see where this rules. I'm definitely more for the creator, for George R. R. Martin, but I'm also not sure how well this will go.
See, this is going to be a fine line to walk because,
Yeah.
here, this is George R. R. Martin, who is arguably one of the most successful writers of our time, right? But he's still an individual. But as soon as ChatGPT or, OpenAI or Meta or anybody starts infringing on Disney's copyright, well, then it's not okay. So where's the line going to fall? Like, where is the law going to protect? Is it going to protect individual rights or not? Is it going to protect copyrights for individuals, but for corporations, but not individuals, right? Like this is just not. I don't think any of these companies are really thinking through the real implications here, and copyright needs to be protected, even though it definitely is also in need of desperate reform.
It'll be interesting, to see how this goes because all the big companies too also are heavily invested in AI. So
yeah, and Microsoft,
Microsoft
and OpenAI are in this lawsuit too. And as you know,
Microsoft. I'm sorry, I was going to.
As you know, Microsoft has invested quite a bit in OpenAI as well, and so
25% is what they own of OpenAI. OpenAI is going to be going public in 2 years for $1 trillion. Most likely, I mean, for what they started out as a nonprofit, kind of hilarious that they're going public, but they're IPOing in 2 years is what the plan is for $1 trillion.
Maybe I should invest in some stock and then dump it fairly early on.
No, leave it to Nvidia to invest $1 trillion in,
and leave it to Nvidia to have the Midas touch. As stocks rise 30% after Jensen Huang shares a video of himself eating Korean fried chicken. Have you guys ever had Korean fried chicken before?
Yeah, it's really good.
Primo.
Only Kentucky Fried Chicken.
All right, so Korean fried chicken is double battered, fried, and it's got a delicious spicy sauce in it. I really think you should try it out, Bill.
The last time I was in Denver, I went to a restaurant called Bonchon.
I have one. I can literally walk to the Bonchon. They just added one right next to me. It's really good.
It's so good, man.
Damn, they closed on the Bonchon near me, and they put it 10 miles away from me. No, 20 miles away from me, sorry.
The town I live in has, let me count, 1 stoplight. So we don't
Nice.
we don't have places to go eat like that.
No.
Damn.
Same. My town has 1 stoplight, and it's one of the blinky ones. It doesn't even
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Damn, Bill, you should definitely go get some Korean fried chicken and get it with a side of rice. It's delicious. You need I think it's the best fried chicken in the world right now.
I agree.
I don't know why anybody would care what he thinks of fried chicken. He's a CEO of a tech company. Who gives a shit? I don't understand this. This story is bananas to me.
Yeah.
That's why
Stock market. Okay. The stock market doesn't make sense, especially right now anyways. It's pumping and it's not supposed to be right now. A lot of the stocks are going up. Like Nvidia hitting 5 trillion doesn't make sense when it is not really producing 5 trillion worth. It's crazy what's going on, and it's a bubble that's going to pop. So this is just, I think, a craze of people over investing, over analyzing stock, and they're just like, well, we're going to invest in KFC, and who knows? Like, it's a bunch of tech. It could even be a bunch of stock bros or something like that.
So the place they went to, Kambu Chicken, isn't publicly traded, but other companies adjacent in that same industry, like Kyochan F&B, went up in 20%. And also, Cherry Bro Co., a poultry processor, went up 30%.
Dude, I think I said it last time. I mentioned it offhand earlier, but I think this is proof that we live in a post-capitalist society. Like, the fact that, like, these people that are in charge of the economy, like the people who are doing the investment, the people who have the most money, are so bored that they're investing their money into whatever Jensen Huang had for lunch. It just boggles my mind that there's no regulation, that there's no way to combat this. Like, there's no mechanisms, at least in the United States, to like combat this level of like insane gambling going on at the highest levels of the economic process in the US. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So there are a bunch of these pictures, but like this, it looks pretty good. But like I don't know.
Who's that? Who's that in the picture?
That's Jensen. That's Jensen.
What? No, it's not. He wears a jacket.
Yeah,
I've almost only ever seen him in a jacket, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Look at all these guys just enjoying their meal here. Some sort of, one of them is a Samsung exec and the other one's a Hyundai exec. Just enjoying a few pints, cracked open a few cold ones with the boys.
Dude, look at those dead eyes. He's been a couple pints in.
But yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
This feels like we live in, like, I'm looking at the world through a funhouse mirror. Like, I cannot comprehend this.
I don't know. I don't know why this is even a story, to be honest. I added it because it was hilarious, but I don't know why this is even a tech story. And it's not just reported by Tom's Hardware. It's reported by a bunch of like news outlets. CNN, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, Fortune, Chosun Biz, the New York Times. It's being reported by fucking everyone. And
he's
why?
the biggest CEO in the world.
Don't say that in front of
On
Elon
purpose.
Musk.
I mean,
I honestly think like all of this, like this is like when this bubble bursts, it should be remembered as the Huang bubble. Like this is, and I think he like, he rode the wave of cryptocurrency, but he also inflamed it, right? And because it was selling so many GPUs, right? And he's doing the exact same thing with OpenAI. And I think he has realized that he has this kind of like ability to capture the attention of the media and the financial sector. And he is exploiting it for his own gain. Like, that's what it seems to me. Maybe I'm paranoid. I don't know. It seems crazy.
Well, at least he's not as much of a nut job as Elon Musk is. Yet.
Well, I mean, when this bubble bursts, it's going to harm a lot of people. So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
What they're doing is very dangerous in a lot of ways, and they're the ones that essentially created OpenAI. People don't realize this, but if it wasn't for NVIDIA funding essentially OpenAI and then kind of getting them addicted to the GPUs, that is,
and continuously feeding capital into OpenAI so that OpenAI can then buy more NVIDIA GPUs.
It is like artificial. Yeah, the whole thing's very weirdly artificial.
I can't wait for GPUs to become affordable again after the AI bubble pops.
The flip side of that, high tech, is like, 20 RTX 20 series are still extremely capable GPUs, and so are 30 series, right? It's like we don't need the annual refresh of GPUs. Most game companies can't even afford to develop games that fully take advantage of the kind of hardware that exists right now. It's like I don't everything about it feels completely artificial to me. And like when Nvidia starts like deprecating support for the 20 series cards in their GPU, in their drivers, we're just going to end up with e-waste that is fully capable of playing modern games. I don't know. Everything about this feels like like such bullshit to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not sure what more to say about this topic at hand, except for, Bill, if you have the opportunity, you should find a Korean chicken place. You won't regret it.
I'll do my best.
Hopefully, it won't cost $30 for a bucket of chicken.
I sure hope it doesn't. But in the meantime, though, I hope the Steam controller is only $30 as well. So we found some new news about the controller, codenamed Triton. We found an icon. The icon
Wasn't
looks like
named Ibex at one point.
Yeah, but now it's codenamed Triton, so it must be a new revision of it or something. I don't know. This is what it looks like. This is the icon they found. It looks a bit different from the renders we've seen, though, because as you can see, there's no D-pad, there's no second stick. But I mean, it's just an icon, right?
Yeah.
I discussed this with Fox on the Twitter, and he was talking about how this looks a bit different. I was like, I think we've had controllers with analog sticks for longer than we've had controllers without analog sticks at this point. Am I wrong?
At least counting from the NES or maybe the Atari. But we've had controllers for a long time.
Yeah, we've had them for a long time, but like, if it's not longer, then at least as long as we've had, like, yeah. So I think, yeah. So I mean, eventually at some point, we're just gonna get to the point where we've had analog sticks as our main like movement options longer than we've had D-pad as our main movement options. But I mean, no real news aside from a new mention of a controller, Triton. We still don't know anything about this. Honestly, the only reason why I want the Steam machines to come back is so that we can get one of these bad boys.
There's no back paddles on this animation.
Yeah, they well, I don't know, man.
I mean, I know that's just made by somebody in Blender or some nonsense.
I'm sure it's gonna be
something that I noticed.
I think sadly it's Bradley mentioned something. I didn't put it in the doc because I was at work, but I swear he mentioned something about the controller as well. I just need to find it at some point. Here it is. Steam Controller 2 will have an extra wacky functionality in its controller handles. It will remind some people of the Valve Knuckles, but not go as extreme as that.
Oh, cool.
You have the Knuckles. What do you think you could be talking about? Because I don't.
Well, so in the Knuckles controllers, it straps to your hand, and then you can fully open your hand. And if you have like hands in the VR and they work with the controllers, it will actually display your hands being open or individual fingers being.
So individual fingers is not like a grip button.
Right. Yeah. So it's finger tracking. Like I can do gestures like this. I can go like that. I can make this sign with the in VR. I can do that.
Oh, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, but why would you do that on a traditional controller?
Well, we don't know for certain why. We just know that it exists. It's up to the pioneers to figure out what that could be used for.
That is true, high tech. Also, this controller is going to be paired with. My understanding is this controller will be paired with the Steam Frame VR headset. Right. So, like instead of having two individual Knuckles controllers, it's going to be like you're playing Steam games on a virtual screen, and you can do at least something like that.
That's the Roy controller is the one that's going to go with the VR headset.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they have these Roy controllers here.
Maybe it's to make it compatible with.
They can still make it compatible, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, it's just another thing that you can use Steam Input for. You can put Sprint there or something like that.
Yeah, you could use it for.
But I can't feel it.
You could use it for hotkeys potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I would want to feel the buttons too.
I don't know, man. Valve has pretty good haptics. They might just put haptics in the like grip thingy whether it's a button or like a pressure sensitive thing. I don't know I don't know what it would be, to be honest.
Mm.
Whatever gimmick that they do with it, what I hope is that it's optional and has all of the things that a regular controller has, so that you can use it for 99% of games, but also have access to the trackpads and whatever weirdness that sadly it's Bradley's talking about. That would be awesome.
I mean, it looks like that's going to be the case. I mean, this model was apparently leaked, so at the very least, they've certainly thought about or are thinking of making something like that. I mean, you get your D-pad, your analog sticks, your face buttons, start, select, the bumpers and triggers. Like, you even got trackpads here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of which, I never realized this until very recently, but none of the current consoles call their start and select buttons start and select.
Yeah.
It's menu and view.
Yeah, Xbox calls it menu and view. PlayStation calls it option and share. And then Nintendo calls it plus and minus. But no start and select, which is very odd to me. I mean, I still call it start and select.
Yeah.
And I think people know what I'm talking. All right, but okay. Here's the thing, though. Calling it menu and view is very confusing because I don't know which one's which.
Menu's on the
start.
right.
Yeah.
View is on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a little more sense now. But I still think the names are bad.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes.
But it's better than like a touchscreen input where it's like left button, top right.
I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. Sony is whack because the share button is a dedicated share button, and options is typically like the start function. And if you want to do anything in select, you gotta click the trackpads in on the like DualSense or DualShock 4 or whatever to do things like that, like the select button, and it just feels wrong.
Yeah, the share button is really weird. I mispress it all the time in games, but I think we're definitely past the start select. Start select doesn't make sense either. As navigating operating systems, console operating systems got a lot more complicated.
The thing is, too, is like select has never made sense as the name for that button either. Because like aside from a few games on the NES, like it never selected anything.
Yeah, on the NES, we would push it and it would move to different options, and then you would press start. So like if you were selecting one player, you would hit select a couple times. So like if you're doing the Contra code, it's up, down, down, left, right, BA start. But if you're playing it multiplayer, you hit select start so that you can select 2-player. Like that's where it came from originally. But then people wanted an extra button, so they would say you would use the select button as the extra button in the game to do things. But I don't think it matters what you call them.
I mean, I'm probably just still gonna call them start and select till the end of time, to be honest. But
and no one's gonna understand what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe if you're like maybe if you're like a zoomer, you might not understand what I'm saying.
Gen Alpha, more like
Gen Alpha too. Damn. But you know, all this talk of fried chicken, and you know what Gen Alpha's addicted to though, according to Satya Nadella? TikTok. Microsoft, Phil Spencer, and also Satya Nadella has claimed that gaming's true enemy is not PlayStation or Nintendo. It's TikTok. So, if you really think about it, though, all of these are Xboxes, right? But they're also all TikTok machines, except for this bento and cat box, of course.
Look, I didn't read his plan. I don't know anything about his plan, but he is correct that short form video is a real competitor to video games and movies and TV shows and all of that stuff.
I get what he's saying, but at the same time, though, you could argue that about anything. You could argue that about going outside, too.
But it is... Bill is, I think, 100% correct here. But we're not having an epidemic of kids going outside. They are 100% stuck on TikTok scrolling all day. And if
Maybe-
you're doing that, you're not playing games.
Maybe we should have an epidemic of kids going outside.
We should. We already have established that like there's a lot of dark patterns on TikTok, but it is, I guess, good to have maybe another ally to say, hey, you know, we'd probably still rather have them playing a video game than just scrolling TikTok all day.
So
Mm.
it makes
Well,
it makes
I mean,
more
he
sense.
just wants to be able to monetize them. That's very different.
I agree, but at least there's some infighting behind some of the big giants. That's all I care about, in the sense of
Fair.
like, getting rid of these dark patterns.
But I think it's less he wants to get rid of them, and more so he wants to use them so that people can play Xbox instead of TikToking. Because I mean, and also here's the thing too. No one's mentioning this because they don't want to be like, oh, TikTok's damaging our short-term memory, but like our short-term attention span. But like, I can see kids getting very bored of like they're making games that are longer and longer, right? But you know, GTA 5 existed before TikTok, right? GTA 6 it will be the first GTA new release to come out after the TikTok generation, you know, existed and was thoroughly corrupted by TikTok. And GTA, no doubt, is going to be a long ass game. And kids are a pretty strong demographic when it comes to these. Now, I'm sure a lot of adults are going to buy GTA 6, but it's usually the kids that are on GTA 5 or were on GTA 5 when they were kids. Do you think they even have the mental like span to play a game as long as GTA 6 for a long time?
Well,
Yes,
are they
I
going to
mean-
have a touchscreen controller for GTA 5 or 6? Because I mean, kids nowadays don't even play Xbox or PlayStation unless their dads let them do it. You know, like it's
Gen
mostly
Z
tablet gaming.
No,
is
GTA on a touchscreen.
Well, I mean, that's just, you get used to the controls you get used to. Gen Z doesn't play games, from my understanding, quite as much as millennials. Gen Alpha is still to be determined. I know my kids play with controllers. They play different types of games. They so far, but they're still pretty young. We'll have to see once they get into like more story driven stuff how they're affected by this. But
All I know is I don't play long games because I don't have the attention span for it, and I don't use TikTok, so
Mhm.
or YouTube Shorts. Like I don't use short form video. I just don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so
that's-
when he's talking about we're looking to compete for their time, not the money, he's right.
yeah, it makes a lot more sense when it's put like that. Because I mean, on the onset, it sounds completely ridiculous, right? But when you really look into it a little deeper, it actually makes a little bit of sense. But I don't, yeah, because I mean, Microsoft still wins at the end of the day if you play Halo on your PlayStation 5, right? They still make some money. And, you know, that's obviously been the goal the whole time. Like, people are worried about Xbox dying. But Xbox, Microsoft still makes money, though. So it doesn't really, so to them, it doesn't really matter if Xbox as a first party console dies, because Microsoft will still make money. They still have a lot of IPs and a lot of studios. It's just a matter of getting those games straight, because honestly, they haven't been on the best hot streak for some of the games. I thought Halo Infinite was fine, but you know, it was just, maybe I was just really, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't into Halo Infinite.
Halos are definitely downtrending. I think Xbox as a console and hardware maker is downtrending, but them as a publisher, that's where they're setting themselves up, is for like Game Pass subscriptions. Publisher, they want to be one of the biggest and best game publishers. Make the best. That's what what I've heard in the world, and they're starting to trend towards that. But we still have to see some major games from some other IP come out, and we have not seen that yet.
Yeah, and also, this wasn't the first time someone in the games industry mentioned TikTok being the enemy. Sean Layden mentioned TikTok as well, back when he was still with PlayStation. Let's see. And he mentioned, I think, oh wow, according to this, There will be a time when we all declare the war is over, the future of video games. What's this article about? Let's see. TikTok. See, an audience leaving for TikTok. We're not growing the next generation. We're losing the next generation to TikTok, he says. So maybe there's something to be said about, Phil Spencer and Satella Nadella talking about losing the next generation to TikTok.
I mean,
because the only reason why we like games so much is because we've probably been indoctrinated when we were younger into video games, right? We were indoctrinated. We liked it. If they like TikTok and they don't really like video games, then those are customers they're not getting. They're customers they're not getting. So I can see why they're so concerned with TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Oh, also on the topic of TikTok and YouTube Shorts, I think most of the content kind of sucks, to be honest. They don't really have high quality content on. Well, I'm not saying they don't, but like a lot of it is not that. A lot of it is just
it's not meant to be.
Yeah, it's not. I guess it's not meant to be, but it's just so vapid. Like
it's hard to make quality content when you only have 30 seconds to a minute to make your point.
No, well, I think
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I will say, if you're looking for somebody, the one person that I watch for YouTube Shorts is Tom Cardy. He makes like joke songs, and he's hilarious. So make sure you check out his stuff. He's the one that did the D&D one where Perception Check. If you haven't seen the Perception Check song, you got to watch it. It's great.
It's good.
All right. But on the topic of competition, Nintendo has some serious competition with Palworld. The Japanese patent office rejects a Nintendo patent. A Nintendo patent that would more or less, I forget, the patent number revolves around capturing creatures by throwing an object at it. Throwing a Pokeball, right? And that patent was rejected. And of course, that doesn't mean the case is over, but that means that that Pocket Pair now has a stronger case against Nintendo. They might be able to defend themselves and keep Palworld alive. We've talked about this a number of times. We're following it because, video game patents are stupid. But also, it's kind of an important case to see here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a nice little update that I saw during the week that, oh, hey, it looks like Nintendo's maybe not going to win everything that they want to win. And this is, I think, at least a good step in some of what Nintendo's trying to do with their patents.
I was shocked that this was the Japanese case too.
Yes. Yeah, because
I figured, they'll win in Japan, but in Europe and in the States they might not win quite as easily. And no, it looks like they said no. This was what did they say? They said their patent didn't show innovation.
It lacks innovation.
It lacks innovation, which I was like, hell yes.
They also mention some other games too, examples of prior art before Nintendo patented this. For example, they mentioned Monster Hunter 4 as one example. They mentioned Ark Survival Evolved, and they also mentioned Pocket Pair's other game that they released called Craftopia. Have you guys ever heard of this one?
No.
It's kind of like Breath of the Wild, but like with some Pokemon, with like crafting elements and like Pokemon elements. It kind of vaguely resembles Palworld, to be honest, which is kind of crazy to me. Except without the various different PAL Pokemons. Oh, look, you can conveyor belt cows into this soup.
I have a serious question about this patent.
Yes.
Why wouldn't the patent office also mention Pokemon as prior art?
I think it's in a third person sort of view. So like you're actually like, because like in most Pokemon games, you just like the Pokemon and you kind of just throw it, right? Whereas like you don't ever like physically aim the Pokeball. I think that's why
Is that what they were trying to patent?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, you do that with Pokemon Go, and that existed before they did this. Like, I don't know, dude. It seems so crazy.
But it didn't exist before the patent.
Pokemon. I think Pokemon Go's implementation is a little different from what they were presenting, because they were presenting like, you're in third person, you're aiming with your right stick, and you're like, so like that's a little different from Pokemon Go, where you kind of rotate the Pokeball a little bit and then throw it in a curve to get it better.
I don't think that the patent was that specific. I felt like it was just like, if you capture a creature by throwing a in-game object at the creature, and that existed before the patent did, but they patented it after Pal World came out. So they were like, here's what I think happened is Nintendo looked at Pal World. They said, those are our creature designs. And then they had some lawyers look at it, and the lawyers said, they're different enough that we couldn't win. We couldn't guarantee a win. So then Nintendo was like, well, find something else that we can do. And so then they said, why don't you guys make a patent for throwing a ball at an enemy in a field, and we'll sue them for that if the patent gets awarded, which it was, which is stupid.
Yeah, lots of patents were awarded, but this does, I mean, the fact that this one was rejected, this isn't a family of patents too. This isn't just an isolated one. It's a family of patents regarding capturing mechanics and throwing balls at creatures. So this, I mean, I'm not saying this might be the silver bullet that Pocket Pair needs to win the case, but it's definitely something.
It's at least a positive direction where it didn't feel like it was going to go that route.
Now,
what I'd really like to see is Microsoft, because they own Blizzard. Blizzard had in World of Warcraft, you could play Pokemon, and it wasn't Pokemon, like, because they had their own creatures, but like literally you would throw a box at a creature and catch it, and then use it to battle other teams of creatures. It was literally Pokemon. And like Nintendo going after Pocket Pair because they're Pocket Pair, they're not going to go after Microsoft.
Of course,
because there's too much money. Like they can throw so much money at the lawsuit.
I don't know, man. I think I'd like to see how this case goes on, because it is pretty important too. I mean, it's pretty clear that they're trying to go after Pocket Pair because they vaguely resemble Pokemon, and but of course they look more like parodies of Pokemon, which is why they probably couldn't like go directly after them. Like they're not going after Digimon. Digimon's been around for almost as long as Pokemon has. And even like the games, like Digimon, I got the new Digimon game. It's pretty good, and it's very similar. Like it's turn based. You have your various Digimons. You have their abilities. You don't capture them in a ball though. No, you fight a couple of the Digimon, and then you convert their data into like a Digimon you can actually use. I don't know, man. There's a lot going on.
Our world is very similar to the Pokemon games.
Yeah, it is. It's more similar.
I'm not overly, like, when I played the game, I'm like, they're going to get sued. Not rightfully so, but they're going to get sued because Nintendo is infamous for suing.
Yeah, but like it's like a parody almost. Like like it's Pokemon with guns. That enough is like parody material right there.
Yeah, I mean, in a good world with a good patent system, which I don't even know if I fully think the patent system is even worth it anymore. Software design, like especially like UI design, UX, all that. Mechanics doesn't make sense to patent. It's crazy that you can patent it. So
I mean, mechanics, I can see a similarity between like game mechanics and recipes. Like you can't copyright a recipe. You shouldn't be able to patent a game mechanic.
Yeah, you should not be able to.
Yeah, and
I agree.
Yeah, and like even if someone tries to make an approximation of your like game mechanic, they're not going to do it perfectly, because that's just kind of how they're going to like change things.
The whole point is it's not a copyright, a patent, so that they can that they invested, that they spent a lot of time working through to build that mechanic, which is usually not true. Like patents, you go back to spending tons of money on R&D and trying to recoup it back. That's where patents come from. That is not how it works in the software world typically. It does not take a whole lot to replicate something.
I mean, just imagine if Nintendo, because they invented jumping in video games. They had Jumpman,
Yeah.
right, in the Donkey Kong game. And what if they patented jumping?
Yeah.
Pressing a button
too late
on
now,
a
but, yeah.
UX interface, and your character jumps, and then they could stop everybody from making jumping games.
Well, if Nintendo were smarter, they would have done that. But yeah,
They can't. You can't
can't
go
do
back.
it.
They can't do it now.
No, I
It's too
know,
late.
but I'm just showing how stupid
Yeah.
this lawsuit is.
yeah. I mean,
No, it's very stupid.
it's very stupid.
And they're also choosing to do this very. Wait, how old is this? I don't even think the throwing to capture a Pokemon mechanic has been patented that long. So
No,
that's
apparently the whole family of patents was submitted in 2023.
Yep. So it's very shaky on that even. Now, if they would have done it way back, maybe. But,
maybe 10
But
years
if they
ago.
had done it when they
Yeah.
invented throwing a ball to capture a Pokemon, that patent would have expired already.
you can renew the patents.
Well,
And most
only
people do.
a few times. You can't do it indefinitely.
No.
At least in the
but,
States.
Yeah. But a lot of patents are renewed for a very long time. Our patent system's broken.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, if they did that when Pokemon first came out and they renewed it, Power World couldn't exist the way it does now. They could probably keep the creature designs, but they'd have to change every other thing surrounding Pokemon.
Yeah.
You turn it into a RTS where you control a bunch of little Pokemon with guns. That'd be kind of fun to play, actually.
Well, then they'd patent Pikmin, and then they would sue.
Oh shit!
Yep.
You sound like a Nintendo lawyer.
Yeah.
You should work for Nintendo.
You've got me doing a lot of jobs today, High Tech.
Nintendo hire this man. You guys have heard that phrase, right? Nintendo hire this man.
No.
It's when someone makes an Unreal Engine remake of Mario, and they make it all super cinematic, or a remake of Ocarina of Time, and it looks like a UE5 game, and some random guy in the comments is going, "Nintendo hire this man."
Yeah.
Man, it's something else.
Do I need an Unreal Mario? Probably not. It'd
Probably
be fun
not.
though. As a fun I don't need it from Nintendo themselves as a mod or a one-off.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't need. I don't think Nintendo has ever made a game in Unreal, have they? In-house Nintendo.
Probably not. They have their own engine system. A lot of their games wouldn't make sense to use
Yeah.
the Unreal Engine.
And plus, Nintendo, in a world where Nintendo does optimize for their systems for the most part. Game Freak doesn't, but they're Game Freak, so they're technically not owned by Nintendo, which is a crazy thing to me.
Well,
Yes.
we need to start heading over to the bonus episode.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Off the Console, man. It's been nice seeing you again. I know we don't talk that often, but you're a pretty cool dude.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It was great.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
All right. Take care.